La leyenda de la sucia.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Karma de la Narcisista, the Narcs Karma. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you very much guys. I appreciate all your support and help. If you do like what I'm talking about, can resonate with whatever, please hit like and subscribe. If you don't, please put your 2 cents down there and we'll go from there. So I want to point out a couple of things guys, at least, like I said, I want to thank you guys. What is narcissistic abuse? They stop hanging out with you all of a sudden, like they go from like being with you in the weekend, like because they're real clingy, super clingy at first, like into they don't have nobody because they can't be alone. They cannot stand being alone. They cannot stand being by themselves. I mean, with themselves. They cannot stand being with themselves. So they always have to be with someone, or at least somebody to reflect back their fucking grandiosity of what they have of themselves, of the full of shit they are. You know, hypocrites, like I mentioned, super hypocrites. I mentioned the profiles. You know, they're on Facebook. You know, they'll have multiple Facebook accounts. So toward the ending, like I mentioned, I got a hold of her phone. So you know, because we were living together still, and I took her phone because I'm like, dude, that's where everything's at. That's where I'm gonna find my answers because she's obviously not gonna give them to me. So, and that's the thing. See, I'm just hearing myself because she was like, I already knew. It's just I was chasing, and like I mentioned before, I was chasing like that motherly figure of mine and trying to make amends with it. Now I see it, you know, but how dumb of me. I'm trying to find. The discard was inevitable. Like it was inevitable. Like it was either just sooner I was gonna catch her, because my point to it was to catch her say sorry, her talk about it, and move on together as a couple. Like you know, like counseling and stuff. You know, like it's a toxic couple. That's what I had in mind, but it didn't play out like that at all. It didn't even do anything like that. What it did, it made things worse. It's to hook you. It's to for you to buy in. Like it's for you to go all in. It's for you to go all in. So once you go all in, that's when I got them. Now they start to go to the next, because for them, the more the merrier. The more they have, the merrier. And once they sleep with you, that's it. Like if you have that item they want, or that status they want, then they're in. They're that's it. At their eyes, I'm in. I bought it. Boom, I'm in. I got the title. Let's do this shit. Let's go, girls. Let's go, girls. But it's something like that. So with that said, I won't be on to her. So what I noticed was that she had downloaded an app that records. It records where you were at. It records your last or where you traveled. So for example, if she says I'm at the market, she'll pull up the market one, and then I'll show you the route, like if she's there, but she's not. Like when you're in a relationship, like these couples, real couples, you know, real boyfriends and girlfriends, they like each other, they adore each other, they compliment each other. You know, they're better for each other. You know, they build on each other. You know, they build off each other, not put each other down and talk shit and belittle one another. You know, but they build. So they don't know how to do that. They don't do none of that. If you give them advice, they take it as criticism because they're highly sensitive. As Peter says, highly sensitive criticism. Highly sensitive to criticism. So I start seeing, like I said, I seen her routes. That's how I was able to find a lot of individuals or people to these questions. But the thing was that you never got an answer, and I never understood why. But the reason why is because, dude, well, first of all, you're coming out like a fucking maniac. Well, I thought about myself, like, coming like a maniac, like a bat out of hell, you know, because at the time, I wanted my family, I consider it as a family, which is my son, her, and I. And I didn't want to lose that. I really wanted to save it, you know. I made my mistakes, I've done my things, and I'm able to forgive. I thought that was, you know, like I said, all I wanted was just an apology, and we're gonna do better, and it will never happen again, and we all make mistakes and just move forward. Like, it's gonna make us stronger. But you know, if you know, guys, and a lot of these people, a lot of these guys that she's dating now, or at least that I see, they know of it. They don't care. They're desperate. They're desperate for themselves that don't even know it. They'll get you to argue, or they'll engage you in some sort of argument to at least leave, or at least to ghost. Because remember, when they're ghosting you as well, they're not. So what I understand, or at least the way it works, or the way Sam Vaknin explains, it, is that when a narcissist meets a psychopath or a narcopath, since a narcopath doesn't know how to like love back, or at least genuinely, what they do is, and then they're more like distant, they're more cold. That's what it's called, cold empathy. They're more push away. They're very, very distant. They're secos, they're dry. So they don't really have time for you. Like, they don't have time for that lovey-dovey. So that's why I've told people, especially like the mother of my child, I'm like, I know you feel him distant. I know you feel him, away. Like, he don't communicate with you because, first of all,
Cluster B, dramatic personality disorders, mood disorders, and other mental health disorders. Unfulfilled or suppressed urges, drives, and impulses give rise to extreme anxiety and stress. Instantly catering to these pressing wishes is the only way to alleviate and ameliorate this inexorably mounting inner volcanic pressure. So the patient feels her needs as something that it's kind of magma, kind of lava that's for her inner.
it pretty much explains what Sam Vaknin talks about, which is they're known as attention whores, or at least it's a guess or a trait or a characteristic of theirs, which they seek attention from men, especially through psychopathic men, like I was mentioning. And it breaks it down to you, letting you know that that inner critic of the female, that they're a slut, they're a whore, that they're bad, they're all, pretty much it's beating them up consistently all damn day. So in order for them to silence the voice, in other words, to make amends with the voice, they give in. They give in, and he explains in his video, of what they'll do just for the attention. So
critic, the voices, the superego that constantly judge her and criticize her and demean her and humiliate her. So to affirm these voices, to agree with them in order to reduce the inner conflict and the anxiety, to create a kind of truce or ceasefire with these voices, what she does, she becomes a whore. She becomes a bad object. She becomes unworthy of anything better than being pumped and dumped by multiple men. This way, she kind of makes peace with her inner tribunal, inner court.
And the way it played out with my significant other, well, since he can't love her like that, like in that way, and she's already in his eyes. So in his, the covert narc is below him. It's under him. He's getting her to buy into the grandiose fantasy that he has, or that he is visualizing, which is considered to be more of what's called a shared psychosis, which is two people, which is like Sam Vaknin explains. They kind of merge together, and they live in this like Bonnie and Clyde type of fantasy thing.
They seek attention from men, but they seek it in a way that enables the men. They become enablers. Together with the men, they create a shared psychosis where the woman is irresistibly desirable, and the man provides her with ersatz, fake intimacy, love, and sex. And together they create this bubble, this utter fantasy, this movie, which has nothing to do with reality. No wonder most of these so-called relationships end up in heartbreak, shame, and guilt.
So that actually plays in as favor to a narcopath or a sociopath, or a psychopath. If that plays in more for them, because they don't want anything with you, like besides, either, like I mentioned, if you offer the 3 S's, which is sex, service, or supply. If you offer 2 of those 3, then you're in. You're in their grandiose fantasy that they're gonna paint for you, and
sometimes seek interactions and relationships with narcissists in order to be victimized by the narcissist, and they usually would gravitate towards narcissists because this achieves a double goal. First of all, it regulates self-esteem and self-confidence, as we have discussed. And the second goal is it renders the woman a victim, and therefore worthy of compassion, attention, mercy, pity, and so on and so forth. So it's like a twofer, 2 for 1.
The narcopath practically has brainwashed the narcissist to do whatever, and I mean whatever they want. And in my narc's case, he's like I said, no disrespect, but he's a cross-dresser. Very, very more with his feminine side. There's a guy or bisexual. That's what you go. That's the term I'm looking for. Bisexual. He's bisexual, and he has fantasies, of course. So, and he hangs out with an attractive group of gentlemen. Let's just call them that. Not gay himself, but it's attractive. I'm gonna admit that. Some attractive guys. They're dancers, they say, and he. In my eyes, the way I see it played out, the way she had invited me to it, it was ridiculous. Like,
this kind of woman feels compelled to restore her badly eroded self-image. So what she does, she conducts a poll among other men. She offers her body in exchange for an erectile affirmation, a vote of fluids that she is still irresistibly desirable. So what she does, she tames men with her body, and that makes her feel safe and reduces her anxiety. And then, of course, some women are adrenaline junkies. Cheating, deception, risky and reckless behaviors or situations are all perceived by such a woman as thrilling, breathless adventures which alleviate the tedium of daily life. This kind of woman is compulsively deceptive. She engages in compulsive addictive sex and compulsive habitual cheating to avenge themselves. It's a form of revenge.
So what I've noticed is when they meet a sociopath or a psychopath, that's kind of what they want, because like I mentioned, they're the victims, they're the covert ones, they're the I never do anything wrong. So being with the psychopath or the overt, the crazy one, it's a twofer, it's a double whammy. I mean by that, it's because it plays in 2 ways. It plays into their victim role with mentality, because people are seeing them get yelled and screamed at and mistreated. So it validates everything. So it's just that much more easier. Like that's how bad it gets. So I hope that wasn't too much for you guys to take in today, at least in regards to it.
And then there's the issue of unsated hunger for intimacy and a semblance of emotion. Such hunger is overpowering. A woman who lacks intimacy in her primary relationship, a woman who doesn't get sick.
Understand that that person who you think it is, it's not them. It is just what you want to see. These people are malicious or evil. It's if you want to see it in the spiritual world, it's evil versus good. It's bad versus evil. It's angels versus devils. It's good versus bad. It's a spiritual battle. It's a very, very, very spiritual battle out there, guys. It's because they're energy drinkers, they're energy suckers. So I hope I touched on these questions, guys. It's getting late, but I'll talk to you guys, and please like and subscribe. And
doesn't get love, doesn't get warmth, doesn't get protection. Such a woman will sometimes provide access to her body in return for even the feigned and fake versions of what she craves. And finally, some women break all boundaries in a feast of unbridled promiscuity. And this is a form of masochistic self-punishment. self-annihilation.
Y una bolsita para dar el levantón, y un botecito que me quema con frío. 3, 4 Barbie bien preciosas pa' bailar. El solecito a lo lejos veo pasar. Me pasa mi compa tabaco pa' balsar. El corazón siento